Hey guys, it is Shane back here on WD18, the Watford fans channel for, well, I'm just going to come out and say it, the preview of the season. A game that we've been thinking about, discussing in and amongst ourselves for such a long time now. The weekend is finally here. This Sunday, Watford will play in the FA Cup semi-final. They'll be taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers. In case you're not aware, it's a 4 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. Live on BT Sport. As always, of course, with these previews, let's have a bit of a recap in regards to our last game before we head on and talk about the game at hand. The game, of course, in midweek, a 4-1 win for the Golden Boys against Fulham, ending Fulham's reign in the top flight this season. And, well, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, the scoreline suggests that the game was relatively plain sailing for Watford. It wasn't the second half. The first half, though, wasn't necessarily a great performance, really. Doucouré giving Watford the lead with a very well-taken goal. But, Fulham equalising and having that response instantly as well. Ryan Babel rounding Ben Foster and slotting into the net. Fulham fans had hope that they may be able to produce a result to survive for another game week. It wasn't to be, though. Watford turned it on second half, courtesy of goals by Will Hughes with an absolute stunning strike by him. Troy Deeney and Kiko Femenir as well, adding to the goal tally on the night. A 4-1 win, confidence flowing ahead of the game on Sunday. We move on to a game on Sunday against Wolves. We're talking about two sides that we are going to play this week that came out of the Premier League. Wolves are very much a model on how to survive in the Premier League in your first season. Listen, I'm going to come out and say it now. I've been incredibly impressed with Wolves this season. Of course, this is coming fresh off the news that Raul Jimenez has signed permanently for them. That was, I think, announced yesterday. A fantastic acquisition from them, the Benfica striker. Scored some great goals for them, and he really is a very, very big threat going into their game. Wolves, of course, have got a lot of other good players as well. I look at Diego Jota as well, Ruben Neves, João Moutinho in that midfield especially. But Jimenez really stands out for me as a man who plays, as we all know, he's a striker, but to score goals, though, he does get himself in there. He will be an absolute handful for our defence come Sunday afternoon. It's going to be about stopping him. It's going to be about stopping a lot of Wolves' other attacking players. It'll be interesting to see the kind of lineup as well that we go for, and we'll get onto our specific lineup in just a few minutes here. But we'll start off with some team news though for Watford, and there are injuries, unfortunately. Tom Cleverley will be sidelined by a calf problem, and he will play no part at Wembley, unfortunately, on Sunday. Such a shame. He's an ideal candidate if the game goes into extra time penalties. He's an ideal guy to bring off the bench. Reliable player in there, and I think, his presence on or off the pitch will be very much missed. Elsewhere, Roberto Pereira and Isaac Success will be having a late fitness test. Pereira, of course, left early. I'm pretty sure it was his wife that gave birth during the week, and that's why, of course, he went off. He left the pitch as well, got subbed off. He was actually at the hospital in the evening, but he is carrying an injury as well, and it'll be a shame for him to miss out on such a big occasion. I hope he plays some sort of part, but this could somewhat be to our advantage as well, and it's something that I tweeted about earlier on the week, and lots of people coming off with their suggestions as to how we might go about tackling this. Of course, I did mention the Fulham game. One guy I didn't mention at all, but in and amongst the goal scorers, a man who actually didn't score a goal but had such a huge part in the game, Andre Gray. Absolutely brilliant from him. 2 assists, really lively. That link-up play with Troy. He looks like a different player, Andre. He doesn't look like the Andre we had last season. Fans getting behind him now. He's becoming that guy off the bench, that go-to guy. He can change the game. Do we change that for Wembley? Does he warrant a start? I would argue he does warrant a start, but I see the impact he's making off the bench, and I think why ruin that? He's a guy born in Wolverhampton. I'm sure he'll be looking to get one over on his old city. Let's say. I'm not entirely sure he actually played for Wolverhampton growing up, but. For Wolves growing up. But with Andre's potential involvement in mind, let us actually get on to a starting 11, a predicted starting 11. Foster started in midweek. Have he maybe played the card early there? Will Gomez get a bow at Wembley? We don't know. from my perspective for this starting 11, I'm going to go for Ben Foster. I think it's such a big occasion. You've got to go with your first choice keeper. Wolves have already come out and said that John Roddy will be starting for them, which I think is actually a big boost for us. Roddy, I think he's okay, but Rui Patricio's had a great season for them, and I think it's interesting that the fact that they've decided to admit that 48 hours before the actual game. I think that's a really interesting point to make. But for me, Ben Foster's in goal. Back four, I'd probably go Kiko Femenir at right back. Centre backs again, Craig Cathcart starts. Who starts alongside Craig Cathcart? I think that's another one for debate. Maps didn't really cover himself in glory midweek. He's played a lot of games for us this season. He's doing very impressive at times, but again, Maps has one of those just has what I call a senior moment sometimes, but he just seems to forget everything that's going on, and can be really quite shit, actually, if I'm being quite honest with you. And listen, I like Maps, he's a great servant and all that, but maybe it's time for us to park the great servant platitude that we constantly use for him. He's a great player, I love him, but I think Javi will select him on Sunday. Who would I select? I'd go for the outsider, Miguel Britos, a man who has not really had a look in because of certain things that have happened when he was previously in a Watford shirt. But I would go with Miguel Britos at centre-back alongside him. Holebas, for me, left-back. Two in the midfield, Etienne Capoue, Abdoulaye Doucouré. Right side of midfield, I'd probably go Will Hughes. Left side of midfield, with Pereira's potential injury, I'd go Gerard Deulofeu. And up top, I would definitely go with Troy Deeney, of course, the captain, the man, the myth, the legend. That was a bit over the top. But alongside him, I would put Andre Gray. I think this is the one game where he does warrant a start. A game where I think he'll actually make something of an impact. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see exactly what happens in that respect. Exactly who Javi picks. As I say, I think it's a very open pool. Let's now have a bit of a chat in regards to our opposition on Sunday, and they are Wolverhampton Wanderers, who have successfully negotiated their first season in the Premier League in very, very impressive style as well. They are 1 point ahead of us in the Premier League. Goal difference, they've got a better goal difference of +1 to our 0. And another big statistic to bear in mind with us against Wolves is 1 minute, and that was the difference in the actual goal minute at Molineux, where we beat them 2-0 earlier on in the season. At 20, I think it was 20 and 21 minutes. I think it was 20th minute for Capoue, 21st minute for Pereira. Of course, we beat them 2-0 at Molineux. We caught them very cold on that day, and I think, in all honesty, I'm not going to get into like a huge preview with Wolves. I think we kind of know what to expect from them, but they've not got any injuries. They're going to want to start strong. Their fans are going to be in good voice there at Wembley. They're going to build up the atmosphere beforehand. Hopefully we do the same. But with them, they're going to be looking for a fast start. They didn't start very well at Molineux when they played us. And you know what? We've got the first goal. We got the second. And that second goal absolutely just killed them off for the afternoon. They never looked like getting back into it. They're going to be hell-bent on making sure that doesn't happen. And I do genuinely think if we're not on our guard, a very similar situation to what happened in the 16 semi-final where Palace scored after 4 minutes. I can see that happening really with Wolves, them getting on the front foot. They've got the players to get those early goals. They've got the players that cause us some real problems in there. We mentioned the Portuguese flair players in their side, but you look at other players in that team. I'm a big fan of Matt Doherty. I think that's how you say his name. On the on the right wing back position, he's a flying wing back. He gets goals, he gets assists. Also, Connor Cody as well as centre back. I think he's done incredibly well coming off the Liverpool Youth Academy as well. Really forged a very, very good career for himself there. And of course, he's now the captain as well, and a guy who I'm sure Wolves fans will be hoping, him alongside Willy Bolly as well, will be hoping to be incredibly solid as well. And they'll be coming up against, of course, Troy Deeney and Andre Gray potentially. Troy. Games like Sunday are where we want to see our captain turn up and put in a captain's performance. He's done that at times this season. Sunday is the big one though for us, and as I said at the top of this, it's the game we've been talking about for ages. It's the game that's been on the minds of, I'm sure, the players, but the fans as well. I've had a week of work, but my God, I've not stopped thinking about this since probably the draw was made. It's a very, very interesting point as well. I heard it from earlier on today. Roy Moore from the in 81 making a tweet to say what the fans do off the pitch very much impacts on the players, and I think he's very much right. If we're nervous off the pitch, the players are going to act nervous as well. I'm dreaming we get to an FA Cup final. We're up against tough opposition, but we have a huge chance to create a huge amount of history for our football club. And for a lot of fans, if we win, it will be our first. It'll be the first time for myself personally. It will be the first time I get to see my football club play in an FA Cup final. The stakes are huge. The prize is massive. Can the Golden Boys deliver? I fucking hope they do. Thank you very much for watching this preview. I'm going to leave that there. We will be at the FA Cup semi-final. WD18 will be doing fan cams outside the ground. So if you've not been on the channel, Sunday is the day. Win, lose. Well, I was about to say draw, but there'll be no draw. Win or lose, come along and have your say on the channel. We'd love to see you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Turn on notifications as well. We're going to have a lot of content. Don't forget to follow us on all of our socials as well. The link will be in the description below. We're going to have a lot of content, as I say, on the channel, on YouTube, on Insta, Twitter. We'll be absolutely chock full of content for Sunday. All that leaves me to say is thank you very much again for watching. And as always, but especially for Sunday, come on you Horns!